In this video, I'm going to be ranking who I think will be UFC champion in each weight class by the end of 2024. So bear in mind, this is just my opinion. This is who I think will be champion. It doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. I guess it's a tiny bit of who I would want as champion by the end of 2024 as well. But I'm going to try and keep it as subjective as possible to make, obviously, the video better. So guys, this is my first video on this channel. I thought I'd try something new. Instead of just chewing my mate's ears off about MMA, I thought I'd actually use all the knowledge that I've actually gained from watching hours and hours of videos and put it into a YouTube channel because it is a passion of mine. So if obviously you're gonna be new around here, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, like it. I'm always up for video suggestions as well. I kind of just stole this off somebody or a lot of MMA YouTubers, so I'll put a few in the description who I've gained inspiration from for the video format, and then I'm going to develop my own unique format. I just thought I'd get my foot in the door with someone that's already established. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so starting off in the heavyweight division, this one's probably arguably the most difficult one to pick because it doesn't really depend on Tom Aspinall. It more depends on if Jon Jones wants to hold up the whole division. But assuming that Jon Jones fights Stipe Miocic and then retires, because I don't think he will fight Tom Aspinall. I think he's finished after this little legacy match with Stipe. Tom Aspinall will be champion by the end of 2024. He's arguably one of the most exciting heavyweights we've seen in years, if you don't count Jon Jones moving up to heavyweight, obviously. Guy moves like a lightweight. He's got incredible wrestling, striking. I was pretty nervous before the Pavlovich fight. I thought on 2 weeks, and he looked a bit shaky at the press conference. I thought he might get smoked. Just the way he pieced him up, absolutely fucking sent him to the shallow realm, was obviously something awesome to see. I am an English guy, so it's always good to see British MMA doing well. I'd like to hope that Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion by the end of 2024. If not, I think he will be early 2025. It just really depends. This all depends when Jon Jones decides to fight Stipe Miocic, and if he does crazily decide to fight Tom Aspinall, I think Tom Aspinall wins. I think he's the younger guy. I think he is arguably is better in most areas. I think Jon Jones is just a bit old now, but he does defy the laws of physics. So he's a bit of an anomaly, Jon Jones. So he's hard to count out. But hopefully, Jon Jones fights Stipe, gets the heavyweight division moving, and then Tom Aspinall can start his reign as the heavyweight champion. All right. So at light heavyweight, we have Alex Pereira. Realistically, I just don't see anyone taking the belt off him. He just seems to be levels above everybody else. His next fight will most likely be against Jamal Hill, as long as he beats the case, like he fucking beat up his brother or whatever. I can't even remember when it was. It was quite a while ago now, but maybe he's already covered that. I don't know. I haven't done any research into that. But I think because Jamal Hill's so salty all the time and he's got such a big chip on his shoulder, I think he's probably going to get sparked out by arguably one of the most dangerous strikers in the UFC, just because he wants to prove to everybody, or all the fucking 5-year-old internet trolls on his Twitter, that he can stand up with Alex Pereira, which I just think is the most ridiculous thing. Like, I don't know why he'd even want to do that. I think he beats Israel Adesanya if he moves up to light heavyweight, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Izzy and Hamza has been teased for UFC 300, but I don't think Izzy would take that fight either, because I think he'd lose that one as well. So Adesanya's in a weird spot as well, but this isn't about him, obviously. Pereira goes up to light heavyweight. I think he loses. I think that's a step too far for him. I think Tom Aspinall's just the wrong guy. I think he could be a heavyweight champion, but not if Tom Aspinall's the champ. I just think that's a step too far. I don't think I'm being biased. I think I'm being objective, but I'll leave that one up to you. I think the only person that can beat him is Ankalaev, but I don't think the UFC is going to let him anywhere near a title shot yet. I think he needs to beat Johnny Walker in their rematch first, and then you probably need one more fight before he gets another title shot, because after the last time where he stunk the gaff out, I don't think they're going to want him anywhere near the title. And Alex Pereira is such a fan favourite, so why would you want to replace such a fan favourite with a guy who no one really cares about? People would arguably want to see Johnny Walker as champion than Ankalaev. So, yeah, I think Alex Pereira, no one touches his belt. I think he's probably the light heavyweight champion for a very long time, unless a massive upset is caused in his fight with Jamal Hill. Alright, so this is where the video takes a turn for the worse for me, arguably. It's going to get a bit controversial from here on out, I reckon. So I think Sean Strickland will remain the UFC middleweight champion by the end of 2024. I think he could fail at... I think he's the first person on this list who could be dethroned the quickest. I think he could arguably lose to Dricus. He seems a bit rattled by the comments that he made at that press conference. After watching, I think it was on the Theo Von podcast, he went on that and he was saying, you know, this shit is too far. Like, some of the stuff that he said was too far. But then Sean Strickland's kind of said some stuff about Ian Gary's wife, even though he is like public enemy number one. I don't know, but regardless, that doesn't matter. I think Sean Strickland is a tiny bit rattled, but I think he realistically probably does get it done against Duplessis. Duplessis always had hella sus cardio. Like, I know he got his nose fixed and it's all good now, but bro's always been a bit sus with the cardio because he's such a fucking big middleweight. So he's probably going to gas out, then he'll get a second win, but in that like small window where he gasses out and needs to take a whole round off because he spammed lat raises too much. I think that's where Sean Strickland could arguably get it done. I think people criminally underrate what he was able to do against Israel Adesanya, even though Adesanya himself is kind of overrated. You know, his whole legacy's kind of been overrated, but it was still a fucking massive upset, obviously. Depending on his opponent, his next opponent after that, whether it is Hamzat or if it's at Whittaker, I think if he can survive the first 2 rounds against Hamzat, I think he wins that because he's got sus cardio as well. The way he gassed out against Usman and robbed that fight off him was fucking that was ridiculous. And then Whittaker's, you know, he's a bit chinny, so like I don't think Sean Strickland's a knockout artist, but I feel like if he can chin Robert Whittaker just the way Duplessis could, even though I think Duplessis is a lot more power, I reckon he could arguably beat those two, but like I said before, he does pose a chance of being dethroned the quickest by his next opponent. Like I said, I reckon he could lose against Duplessis. He probably could get knocked out. But I'm going to make a bold call because I want to be the guy with the heart. You know, I told you so, but I'll hold my hands up and say if Sean Strickland loses at UFC 297 against Duplessis, then, you know, at least I said that, you know, I thought he might lose. This is probably the pick that I'm least confident about. It's more that I want him to be champion because I understand the UFC literally fucking shits their jorts every single time he gets on the mic because he is pretty controversial, but you know, it's what we need in today's society because everyone's so SJW and shit and everyone's too scared to say anything, but this guy just speaks his mind. And he's also a pretty stand-up dude as well. Like, I actually really like him and what he, you know, sort of stands for. So fair enough to Sean Strickland. I hope he is champ by the end of 2024, but, you know, I would not put much money on him. This is my least confident pick of the video. Alright, so at welterweight we have another English guy, which I'm always happy to see. I think he will remain champion, Leon Edwards, at the end of 2024. He looks absolutely unstoppable at 170. After he dusted up Colby like that, even though Colby was a bit of a shell of his old self, I think that was just a ring rust, but I think he also fucks Bilal up as well. I hope that fight isn't the main event at UFC 300 because that would be such a waste. I think UFC 300 is going to be a massive flop. I might make a video about that, I'm not too sure yet, but I feel like this can't... if it's going to be something, at least the co-main event, not the main event. But obviously, I think UFC 300 is in Ramadan, so I don't know if Bilal will actually take that fight, but I don't know if he'll deny a title shot, because if he denies it, he'll probably fucking never get another shot ever again. So, even though he is rightfully deserving of one, so I feel kind of bad. Like, the Bilal hate, it is funny, but I feel kind of bad for the guy, because he's not bad, but I think he'll lose against Leon still. I believe Leon beat Shavkat as well. I think he looked kind of not very good against Wonderboy. It took him like 8 minutes to take him down. He finally got the choke on him, but I suppose Shavkat's still impressive. He's finished every single one of his fights, but I don't see Leon Edwards losing. I think these will be his only 2 fights in 2024, and then if there's no other good contenders, I think he may... I don't know why I put go up against Islam. Oh, I suppose he may go up, like he may fight. He's not going up in weight, obviously, to fight Islam, but he may go up against Islam at the start of 2025. But I'll get on to Islam in a sec, because I think... I'll hold that for a second, but I think Leon Edwards will be the welterweight champion at the end of 2024. I don't see anyone beating him unless it's like a shock knockout or like a shock submission. Alright, so at lightweight, we obviously have Islam Makhachev. Arguably probably the best fighter in the whole UFC at the moment. I think his rematch with Charles will probably be the most interesting fight. I think if he runs through Charles, there's no one really left, I think, that can beat him for a while. I think he runs through Gaethje, retires Gaethje, just be Khabib versus Gaethje all over again. If he goes up against Dustin Poirier and all that, and I think these are just repeats of what Khabib's done years prior, but I think he'll do it in more devastating fashion on the feet, because Islam's got crazy hands. I think we should stop underrating Islam's striking and how much of a well-rounded fighter he is, and I think we should stop calling him Khabib 2.0, because he's arguably better than Khabib in almost every single aspect. He's an insane fighter. If they do fight, I believe Arman Tsarukyan poses a massive threat, but I'm not sure if that fight will happen in 2024. I think, obviously, because Islam's got Ramadan, he won't be fighting for that part of the year, so it'll obviously take up a good chunk. And he doesn't have to fight like Bilal either, because he already holds the title. I don't think he should go up and fight Leon yet. I think he should leave that for the start of 2025. Because he's got a real good shot of cementing himself as one of the best lightweights of all time, even though he's already dusted the best featherweight of all time. In a kind of sus way, with the IV, and then in Abu Dhabi, and that doesn't matter. That he still smoked him in the second fight. We all kind of knew that was going to happen, but it's now time to start cementing his lightweight legacy. And he should be lining up all the healthy 155-pound fighters and just picking them off and just trying to cement his legacy in as the best lightweight of all time, because I really think he can do that. So I think Islam will stay lightweight champion until he retires, or if he, tests Father Time too much and gets smoked by a lightweight prospect that we've probably never even heard of before, or haven't heard of yet, which is years down the line. Alright, so another controversial one, a featherweight. I think it could be Ilia Topuria. Look, he's a young and hungry fighter, and he's very, very confident going into his match with Volkanovski. And Volkanovski does look like he's sliding out of his prime, even though he just went up against the best fighter in the world twice in a row and took it on short notice. Cracks in his invincibility are starting to form, and it gives other fighters confidence as well. I think if they fight, I think Ilia Topuria will win both of the fights if they have a rematch, if he beats him. But, Volk is going into fights too quickly after getting knocked out. It hasn't been that long since the Islam fight. He should have waited till at least, I would have said, April or March, but sadly I think it probably is the end of the Volkanovski era, but I really hope I'm wrong. I love Volkanovski because I live in Australia, all the lads, everyone loves Volkanovski. He's like a hero, so I really hope that Volkanovski does beat Ilia Topuria, because I think he is such a cool stand-up guy. But obviously, if he does, pass it on to Ilia Topuria, it's more of like a pass in the torch. But then I think arguably Max Holloway could get a title run going. I reckon he probably could beat Topuria. So the featherweight division, if Volk does lose, I think actually does get kind of exciting. It's as it would be to see Volkanovski his era ends. I think it's obviously time. He's pretty old now. He's one fight away, and I think he's arguably done. So I think at the end of 2024, it could be Ilia Topuria, but I really hope I'm wrong. Alright, so in the bantamweight division, I think it will be Merab by the end of 2024. Now, I think it's inevitable that Merab will be bantamweight champion. It just depends if he gets the shot in time for the end of 2024. So, regardless of whether O'Malley or Vera win in their match, I think Merab will beat them both super easily. I think he dusts both of them. Marlon Vera already is getting an undeserved title shot, but that's because everyone else is injured. And O'Malley kind of got a super lucky knockout against one of the best bantamweights ever. Especially because Aljo was knackered as well. You know, he just did 5 rounds with Cejudo, so he got lucky. You know, O'Malley had a rib injury as well, but it's unfortunate that O'Malley and Aljo don't get to run that one back. I feel kind of bad for Aljamain, but I think Merab beats either of them, whoever's champion, because he is next in line. He is rightfully next for the title. I think if he fights Sandhagen, I think he wins against him too. I think that would be a really close matchup though, because Sandhagen is such a well-rounded just fighter in general, but Merab's cardio and his condition is literally godly. It's, you know, it's inhumane. So I don't see anyone beating him if he becomes champion or on his way to becoming, or if he has one more fight before he fights for the title, or however Dana wants to do it. I don't think they want Merab anywhere near the title, to be honest, because, you know, he's not a striker. He's not so exciting. It's just takedown after takedown after takedown. You know, we all saw what he did to Petr Yan. You know, he literally just butchered him. I think one way or the other, whether Merab gets the title in time for the end of 2024, it will be early 2025. But I don't see anyone stopping Merab from becoming the bantamweight champ. So finally in flyweight we have Pantoja. I don't see anyone beating him. He looks great in every aspect. He's not my favourite champion. I know no one really likes the flyweight division. I feel kind of bad for saying it should be scrapped or whatever, you know, but obviously not the most entertaining champion. You know, he kind of stunk the gaff out in his last fight. It wasn't the greatest, but I believe that if he keeps this up, he could probably crack the top 5 pound for pound list if he keeps this up. I know that sounds super controversial, but realistically, I reckon he could pretty easily. I don't see anyone taking the belt off him. And there's just no one in the top 5 that really poses a threat. I don't really know much more to say about this one. Look, it's not that interesting. No one really cares about these lower weight divisions. I think the bantamweight has obviously caught a lot of heat recently, obviously because everyone loves O'Malley and stuff like that. But in the flyweight, I think it'll be Pantoja. I don't see anyone beating him right now, unless a new contender comes around. But that's just my opinion. Alright lads, so that's my predictions for who I think will be champion at the end of 2024 in every weight class. I didn't do the women's because 1, I don't have enough time, and 2, you probably don't care that much. So it doesn't really matter, so I'm not going to go over those divisions. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you hit the like button. Subscribe because it's my first video. Give me some suggestions. Don't hate. I'd prefer if you didn't do that. Give me some suggestions on what videos you'd want to see. If I get no suggestions, I guess I'll have to think of some myself and stop being lazy. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, this is my first video, so I'm going to try and improve on things and other stuff, you know. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video very soon. Peace out.
185 pounds.